Welcome back to another episode of Sauce or Loss, where are the cards? I could have sworn I had one to show off to the audience. Whoa, it's like invisible or something. Cyborg and Machine Digimon make up a large chunk of the game. You've got Metal Greymon, Mach Galgamon, Metal Garurumon, Machine Dramon, just to name a few. But they've never really been a true deck. It's always just, fuel for Machine Dramon, or a random cybernetic Digimon in the line, and that's really about it. Just like with War Greymon. Metal Greymon's a random cyborg, kinda weird. But Invisimon appears in the game and is trying to spice things up with a new disappearing act all about security manipulation? It'll make sense when we get to the cards, I promise. Invisimon is from Digimon Liberator, which means two things. It'll probably look cool and have a very cool idea, but it won't have any impact on the meta.
Unless you're me.
But hey, I've been wrong before, so let's not waste any more time and see what Invisimon can do. Starting off our support, we've got an egg, and it's a level 2 black Digimon, Kapurimon. With the inheritable, your turn, when the Digimon checks a face-up security, it gains jamming for the turn. Oh hell yeah. People playing Royal Base and the 3 people playing the Digimon family decks, your days are numbered because my stack is getting jamming. This card is purely dependent on how viable face-up security becomes. If we start seeing more options come up, it can be even better. Oh wait, no, I read that card wrong. It's not my opponent has face-up security, it's if I check it. So your top card needs to be face-up. Which, don't get me wrong, this is the deck's whole gimmick, but there are only 4 cards currently that utilize the gimmick, and this is one of them. Sadly, if you want the most out of this deck, you have to run it, but it isn't that good. It's loss. If you want jamming, just run Marvin Jackson instead. Next, we have our level 3, and it's Espimon, which is a black and blue Digimon that digivolves from a black blue level 2 for the cost of 1, or a Kapurimon for a cost of 0. See, you got our Kapurimon. It has the Your Turn effect when we digivolve into a Cyborg Machine Digimon, reduce the cost by 1, with an all turns inheritable of plus 1000 DP. The cost reduction for Machine or Cyborg Digimon isn't that bad, but outside of I don't know, there really isn't a whole lot of good Cyborg decks right now. You can't run it in Justimon because Strike Dramon's a Dragonkin, and with the current pool of Cyborg and Machine Digimon, it's very limited for level 4s. If you want to find some use for this, maybe run it as a 1-up in D-Brigade as the high command Dramons are Cyborgs. It's not good, but you can run it. Speaking of evolving, if you're not doing it on the Kapurimon, it's going to cost 1, and most of the Kapurimons are kinda bad. Whoa, plus 1k on my turn? That card needs to be hit. The inheritable for plus 1000 isn't that bad. An all-turn boost can always save you from that one check that would kill you, but for now, I'm going to have to say this card is loss. Maybe once we get more support for the Machine or Cyborg Digimon, this could be better, but for now, the pool is kind of very limited. Up next, we have Solarmon. Wait, this is the same card as EX7 Gatsumon. Yeah, this isn't anything special. Loss. Next card. Moving on to our level 4s, we have our black support line, Blimpmon. Remember, doesn't count as having Impmon in name. It digivolves from level 3 black Digimon for a cost of 2. It's got an on-play when digivolving. One of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack players until the end of their turn, with the inheritable of Reboot. You know what? This is actually a pretty good stall card. Sometimes you need to buy yourself a turn, and now you can live with Blimpmon. This card would have been an absolute menace in BT8. I mean, you just hard plays for the cost of 4 and I can buy myself a turn. My opponent can't Omni for game. This would have been teched into every deck ever. Kind of like BT5 Mechanorimon was back in the day. Maybe that was a My Locals thing, but I feel like every deck back then had BT5 Mechanorimon. If only this card came out in BT8, but alas, it's BT20 and almost every boss monster has effect protection, so the use case for this card has only gone down. Personally, I'm going to say this card is sauce, kind of for the vibes, but also kind of out of pity. Back over to the main line, we have our black and blue Hover Espimon, which digivolves from a black or blue level 3 Digimon for a cost of 3, or a level 3 Cyborg Machine Digimon for a cost of 2. It's got a when digivolving effect, flip your opponent's top face down security face up, and an end of attack effect, once per turn, draw a card, with the same inheritable as Espimon to give plus 1000 all turns. Peekaboo, I see you, security. This is one of the 4 cards that currently work with the gimmick. Basically, you're going to evo into your Hover Espimon, flip over the top security, and then swing into it, and you're going to live because you have jamming. And then end of attack, you'll draw one. Except, what if that face of security is a removal option? Then what? Okay, also, why is the effect only a when digivolving effect? They should have made it an on-play too to flip over the top security. I mean, it's a 4-cost body. That to me makes sense. I get it, it's supposed to be 4-cost source than the Altea Tamer, but still, an on-play would have been nice. And if you want to play the Altea Tamer for free, wait for the next round apparently, because this is different. I will give them some credit though, as usually we tend to see Liberator level 4s play out the Tamer for free, so this is going against the grain. Good for you. This card is kind of like RB1 Hover Espimon, where it can look at security, but at least that one gains you a draw or a memory depending on what the card was. And it does also synergize really well with the Oblivimon we're talking about next, but honestly this card's very underwhelming. Gets a solid mid for now. And speaking of Libimon, it's the next card we're talking about, which is a black and blue level 5 Digimon that digivolves from a black or blue level 4 for a cost of 4, or a cyborg machine level 4 for a cost of 3. It's got the security effect. End of your opponent's turn, play this card without paying the cost. Has a when digivolving effect to flip up your opponent's top face down security face up. With a your turn effect, when this Digimon checks a face up security, you may place this Digimon's top stacked card face up as your bottom security. With an inheritable, this Digimon's attack target can't change. And it was at this point I realized this deck was just reverse aquatic. Instead of playing out smaller bodies, it puts the top card into your security stack while the rest of the body stays on the field, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, it re-emerges and activates its on-play effect, and there's no on-play effect. I will say the wording on this card is a little tricky. So basically, if your opponent has 4 cards in their security and one of them is face up, the when digivolving effect will flip the next card face up instead, so there'll be 2 face up cards instead of 1. And that'll basically repeat if there's an on-play when digivolving effect, so flip the next card up. And another thing too, is that if your card underneath has a end of attack effect, it'll still go off. So if you swing with this, it bounces into your security and you have the hover Astromon underneath. The hover Astromon's end of attack effect will activate and you'll draw a card. So yeah, that's kind of why it has jamming. It's meant to keep the bodies alive in case it gets extra squishy. And now we go to Machine Dramon Watch, as this is a level 5 cyborg. Those Machine Dramaniacs have another card with an inheritable, allowing them to bypass big wall decks. So that's a plus for them. It's kind of the only plus for this card, really. And this has been Machine Dramon Watch. I am surprised this deck is designed to play out bodies and this doesn't have an on play. Feels wrong. And for that reason, I'm going to have to say the card's loss. Back over the support line, we have our black level 5 Bulbmon, which digivolves from a level 4 black Digimon for a cost of 3. It's got blocker. And an opponent's turn, when this Digimon will leave the battle area, you may play one 4 cost or lower Digimon from this Digimon's Digivolution card without paying the cost, with an inheritable to redirect attacks into it. Okay, why does Digimon look like Great Value Apocalypse?
Hello, it is I, Bulbmon.
I've never seen this Mon in my life. Best case, this is going to be a 9k blocker thanks to your SPmon and Hover SPmon underneath. And if you happen to block with it, that will leave the battle area and you can eject out a 4 cost or lower, which is most of the cards in this deck, including Hover SPmon and Blimpmon, so that's not the worst. The inheritable would be good for most decks, but not this one, as if you're swinging with Invisimon, it's going to heat itself up in security, and then you're not really doing a whole lot with it. There are uses for this card, but in this deck, for Invisimon specifically, it feels counterproductive to what the deck is trying to do. I'm going to have to say this card is lost for Invisimon. And speaking of Invisimon, it's the next card we're going to be talking about. Invisimon is a black and blue level 6 Digimon that digivolves from a black or blue level 5 for a cost of 3. It's got a security end of your opponent's turn effect. Play this Digimon without paying the cost. It has an on-play when digivolving effect to digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon and to flip over your opponent's top face-down security face up, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with one or fewer Digivolution cards. It's got a your turn effect of when this Digimon checks a face-up security card, you may yeet it into your security stack face up as the bottom security card. If the rest of the deck was like this one card, it would be really cool. The effect itself is pretty sick, allowing for constant digivolve and a pop of something with one or less sources. Assuming you swing and it just swung into security, check something face up, it'll then yeet itself back into your security, and you'll have a stack with level 5 Digimon out, which can be evoed again into anything else, or on your opponent's turn, it can be blast evoed. And at the end of your opponent's next turn, it'll come back out and pop something else, and you can do it all over again. I will say that it's only 11k, which makes it very squishy and a pain to deal with if you're going to be swinging into like a wall deck. Also, after the initial swing, when Invisimon comes back out, it'll have no inherit, so it'll kind of just sit there. It's supposed to combo with the new Tamer, but I don't think it's the best. But I think, again, just run Marvin Jackson, and I think you're fine anyway. Also, something I noticed about this card is that it is a dual colored card, but it doesn't go for the cost of 4. It's just a flat 3 cost. But Oblivimon costs 4 and has a cost reduction for cyborgs. Yeah, I don't get the favoritism. I guess you could always tech this in as a blue or black level 6 if your deck's missing one. It's not that bad, especially if your main level 6 happens to be an ace. Just swing in with this, put it back, and then ace down your opponent's turn. And yeah, it's definitely sauce. I'm just thankful they gave it an on play. And our last card of support is our level 6 black Digimon, Raidenmon, which digivolves from a black level 5 Digimon for a cost of 4. It's got an on-play and digivolving effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. With an all-turns effect, when this Digimon will leave the battle area, you may play one 11 cost or lower Digimon with the machine or cyborg trait from the Digivolution cards without paying the cost. The Digicross of Digicross -2 for Raigenmon, Fujinmon, and Sujinmon, meaning you can play it for a cost of 6. I will start by saying this, if they ever decide to limit a Pokemon, this card would kill it. Just think about it. You would have 4 level 6s underneath the Pokemon. No, not Great Value Pokemon, I'm talking about the real one. But that's too funny to think about, because Bandai would never, right? The pop effect is whatever really, but the coolest part I guess is being able to play out 11 cost lower body from sources. But really, if you're doing the full Digicross, your best bet would be playing out the Raijinmon, Fujinmon, or Sujinmon, and all those cards are kind of very, very mediocre. Maybe if they get newer forms in the future, it could be pretty cool. But as of right now, the only purpose this card has is like in a popper format, so that uncommon and common event is coming up. Oh yeah, this card is definitely worth running there. Aside from that though, cards loss. And finally, our Tamer, Altea, which is a 4-cost black Tamer. It's a memory setter. It has a start of main effect by placing one 4-cost lower black Digimon with the Cyborg Machine trait from your hand or trash as any of your Cyborg Machine Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Flip your opponent's top face down security card face up. With their security effect, play this card without paying the cost. Okay, that's pretty cool. The deck has a memory setter, and it's a Liberator's Tamer that we can't cheat out, because Hover Estimon said no. With an effect designed to give your played out Oblivimon and Invisimon from security a source, so that's nice, I guess. But here are your best options for 4-cost or lower Cyborg Machine Digimon. Yeah, it's slim pickings. It is a plus that you can do it from either your hand or trash, so if there's ever an inherit you're missing, you can always just, plop it in that way. I could see this being teched in like D Brigade, as surprisingly, they have a lot of Cyborg Machine Digimon that cost less than 4. I don't fully understand why they include the effect to flip up your opponent's security. I mean, Invisimon's do that anyway when you play it out every single turn, and there are other cards in the deck that do it anyway, so why couldn't they have said something like, if your opponent has a face-up security, draw a card, or gain a memory? But hey, maybe future support will do that. But for now, it's loss, and in case you couldn't guess, just run Marvin Jackson instead. Invisimon does the unthinkable by being a Digimon Liberator deck that is not good, like at all. I think there's zero cohesion with what the deck wants to do and its top end. Invisimon itself is a very strong card that does a lot for it, but the rest of the deck is kind of holding it back. What you're supposed to do with this deck is swing and then chuck your top card into your security and then have your other bodies out. But in actuality, it doesn't really do a whole lot. Invisimon itself, again, very, very strong, very, very powerful card. But everything else, not so much. And what also sucks too is that if your Invisimon comes back out and doesn't have any sources, it can't eat itself into security as it needs a bottom stack card. So running stuff like X Antibody or, mind linking with Marvin Jackson is a way to get around that. But outside of that, it's just not going to do a whole lot if it's just out there with no sources. Overall, I'm going to have to say Invisimon gets a 5 out of 5. Oh, it disappeared. It's actually a 1.5 out of 5 for a rating. Unfortunately, right now the deck just isn't cohesive or good. Invisimon, fantastic. Everything else, bad. On screen, it's a deck list that I found worked. It's not amazing by any means, but it does what the deck wants to do. Again, Marvin Jackson is kind of your MVP here for mind linking and getting jamming that way in case you're not swinging into face-up security. Also, the Trailmon is there just hard play and then attach your Tamer underneath and then play it up for the next turn. Because again, this deck just doesn't seem like playing out Tamers very quickly and efficiently. Thank you for watching the episode of Sauce or Loss. Invisimon is, again, a very strong card that I've been talking about this entire video, but the rest of the deck, I don't know what they're thinking. It doesn't really work that good. Other Liberator decks have their strengths, and they have pieces that you're like, oh, I can run this for now, but with Invisimon, everything else just kind of feels bad to play. Anyways, I've been Pro Ninja, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.